Morency. Sports Rage Uncensored. Enter the rage. This is Sports Rage After Hours.
Twisted Tuesday, this is Sports Rage Uncensored After Hours. I'm Morency. 1-888-9 Hardcore. That's your Rage Hardcore Country. As we'll be at Chez Parade on Thursday night. Information on the website. Trophy Sports Bar on Friday night. The lovely Amy Anderson, just one of the lovely ladies. We're going to have thrown it down with us. The Zions girls are going to be there. We're hoping to have Cohen, one of those punk rock porn stars that was on Relentless as well. She's from Montreal, and she wants to party.
Yeah, she did like to party. She's wild. She'll fit in perfectly.
Yeah, I figured we can get crazy at trophies. Evidently, it's the Greek Easter on Friday. You'll be there Friday, won't you, Orville?
Absolutely.
You'll be there Thursday and Friday, but not Saturday.
No, Saturday morning I'm going to head back to Toronto.
That doesn't make sense. Why wouldn't you stay for the fight?
I'm not a big fan of this card, to be honest, but I will watch it. I just want to get home to my family, and I don't know. Just, don't really care to stick around.
Good thing the UFC's not paying us to hype it. Good thing we're only hyping our parties the nights before. I'm not really excited. That's why tickets are available for $52, Orville.
Anderson Silva's my favorite fighter, though, so I was thinking of sticking around. I don't know.
Oh, you can play it by ear.
Yeah, I won't commit to anything. Who knows?
It is true, though, that the UFC is actually a better event on television. It's true. It's true. You can't win, because if you're cage side, you can't see anything because of the damn cameraman and the angles. Anytime, if you're cage side, and I've been like front motherfucking row before, the A's in socks going to the bottom of the ninth, getting locked up at 5. If you're sitting in the front row, you have like Goldberg's head. I was right behind Goldberg. I had Goldberg and Kenny Florian's head in front of me. So when they stand and like throw, you can kind of see, but it's actually annoying because the fence, the cage, is actually annoying when you're right in front of it. So it sucks to be really close, although it's cool, but it's not worth $1,200. And then if you're further away, you end up just watching it on the damn screen, which I hate doing. I'm a stubborn person like that. I refuse to watch anything on the screen. I don't care if I'm in the last row. I don't look at the screen. It's pointless, because at that point, you might as well have stayed home. People that go to concerts and just stare at the screen, why don't you just buy the DVD of them live and stay home, douchebag?
Or just listen to the album. But I mean, you're right. Some of the nuances in watching it live are lost when you could be watching it on TV.
Oh, yeah, you can't see the nice reverses and the clinches. You can't see a lot of the stuff live. It's like football. UFC is like football. The UFC is a cool thing to go and get blasted at. Let's be honest. You go, you get blasted, you bet on the fights, you yell at the fighters. Although I don't yell at the fighters, surprisingly enough. because I'm aware that any of them would kick my ass after, and I actually usually see them after. So, but point being, it's like football. You know, really, people love the NFL, and we're talking about the NFL schedule as well. We've got like the rankings of each team, how difficult their schedule is. But whenever you hear people talk about the NFL, the best part is the tailgate. So in other words, the best part is getting blasted in the parking lot, right? You're getting blasted in a parking lot. That's the best part. It's true. When I was younger and I used to go to concerts, the best part was getting stupid before the concert. The show was all right, but it was always, what kind of crazy, dumb thing are we going to do before the show? I'll probably say more, but Earl de la Perrelle, I see, is on hold. One of my best Earl de la Perrelle stories when Marwin Hage was on Sports Rage many years ago on another radio station in studio. Marwin was the captain of the Colorado Buffaloes. And I said, Marwin, you have any good hazing stories? He's like, yeah, once we beat up this freshman with a baseball bat. And Earl de la Perrelle sitting beside him, just cringing, like fucking tapping him on the shoulder. And Marwin didn't get it. He just tells the story anyways. And Earl just is like, I can't, what can I do? And Earl de la Perrelle, fortunately, did we ever get Mike's gift package that he sent? Mike from Moncton sent a fucking package for Richard Gardner. The going away present and everything. And Richard's gone, and he didn't get the box. What happened with that box? Pizzola was on it, then supposedly you were on it, Orville?
Yeah, tomorrow I'm going to talk to the guy who signed it. I know who he is, and that's cool. That's probably just a misunderstanding.
No, now what? Now tomorrow. That's a Cohen answer right there. Yeah, we're on it.
I couldn't find the guy Monday, and I wasn't in the afternoon today, so tomorrow's the day.
All right, that kind of fair enough. Kind of defeats the purpose. But Earl de la Perrelle sent me a box as well. I got that like 10 days after the fact. What's going on here? I think we need a daily visit upstairs. Secretary's cute. What's the problem? Why doesn't somebody just... Cohen can't do it. He's not here. I can't do it. I'm not here either. I know you have a lot on your plate, Orville, but you like to make popcorn in the microwave up there. So, I think it's almost to the point where once a day you're going to have to just hit 3,900 on our phone. What's her name? Tracy?
Tanya.
That's the one, Tanya. Yeah.
Tanya, she was the one that got the porn movie with the big cock and line of cocaine, blows and hose. Tanya's not, she's a little uptight, evidently. Does that make someone uptight? Am I judging her poorly?
It's probably just nothing that comes across her. I should choose better words. It's probably nothing that she stumbles across on a daily basis.
I think it's a good test, actually. Because I got to be honest, anybody that if a girl sees that and she's not down with that, it's probably not going to work out. That's like the you should almost leave that out accidentally. Oh, sorry, that's my copy of Blows and Hose. Sorry about that. And if she's still down, then you've got to keep her. Earl de la Perrelle steps up and in from Montreal, head coach of the Sun Youth Hornets. How you doing, Coach?
Very good. Yourself, Gabriel?
Doing well, Coach. Doing well. Hopefully we're able to see you at one of the nights this week, Earl.
Well, you will see me on Friday, not on Thursday. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's not the type of place, huh? You're like Sid Six.
I did that with you one time, and it was you were tucked away in a corner, and it's not the greatest place to be.
Nah, it's pretty sleazy. There's no doubt about it. You and Sid Sixero, actually. Sid's a classy guy, too. He's like, yeah, I'll be there on Friday, Morency, but Thursday night I'll be taking a pass. And ironically enough, Coach, all the UFC guys and all the broadcasters, they're all confirmed for Thursday. They're like, oh, really? Hey, they're not sure about the sports bar, but they're down for Chez Parade.
Oh, well, they have a whole day to recover, isn't that true?
So, yes, no, exactly. Well, no, the fighters, we actually have one fighter coming who's fighting on Saturday, but he won't be partaking in any extracurricular activities, Coach.
Oh, he won't. Well, some of your other, I guess, confreres or fellows that you're going to have there, who will come to see you, I guess that they're going to, some of them have never been there before, they're going to experience quite a different show.
Yeah, well, trophies will probably be crazier than Thursday, ultimately, Coach.
Probably. Well, you're going to have, I guess, some of our local characters there on a regular basis. So.
Hopefully the madnesses of the world show up. We know the clam chowder will be there.
Yeah.
That's the great thing about trophies, though. Strong home base. We return back to the home base, and it's always a strong turnout at trophies, and we always appreciate the hardcore showing up on a Friday night.
Well, as you're not going to schedule no football games on the street again tonight or Friday night, are you?
No, we're done with that. See, before if we got sued, it wasn't a big deal now. But I can't get somebody killed, Coach.
I mean, the last place, at least, it was a parking lot. Here, you're on a major highway. It's your chances of getting somebody bumped off there is a little bit higher than it was the last time you did that in a parking lot.
Yeah, that was the concrete challenge. We're not doing that stuff anymore.
So I just heard you mention you did get the parcel that I sent you.
Yeah, we did, and we appreciate it, Coach. Although we hate Michigan State, we like the Sun Youth stuff. We appreciate the care package, Coach, and we'll see what we can bring up for you guys as far as hardcore and the Score Television Network stuff.
Well, I guess the big part I wanted to send you for you and all the guys in the studio there was the May West that you were talking about how you missed it. And
yeah, that was great stuff. And you know what? Cam ate like 4 of them, actually, immediately. He never had one before, and he became hooked. Yeah, they went fast, Coach. And you know what? We want to thank the Milkman as well. Milkman and Bossman, they heard the call for the May West, said, these guys are the SEAL test people, the Kingpins, SEAL test Kingpins of Toronto, Coach.
Okay.
So they managed to score a couple of May West as well, and class acts. Last night they brought like cases of chocolate milk for the crew here. Class acts.
That's fantastic. Good for you guys. Gabriel, one of the things I'm going to is if you read the Gazette today or going into it, actually, we very often don't talk about it. But getting into the hockey situation with the Montreal Canadiens, I don't understand where the media people come in. Maybe you could fill me in on the media people here, where they keep promoting to put George Larocque into the games. And I look at the games, and I've seen him play this year. If there's a worse player in the American Hockey League, forget the National Hockey League, than George Larocque, I'd like to know who it is.
Well, I think it's all perception, isn't it, Coach? People in hockey, they want the tough guy out there. They always figure, we're getting pushed around. But if George Larocque plays, he hasn't played all year, basically. So if he plays, if he's in the lineup, he's basically going to play less than 5 minutes a game. And, that's a high number at 5 as well, as you know, being a coach. So, what is he going to play? Maybe 3 minutes a game, and there's no fighting, really, for the most part in the postseason right now.
Well, I mean, the last game that he played that they had him on, he did 10 minutes. But my thought process on him is, well, if I'm looking at it here, I look at the fellow on the bench, and I say, well, this fellow is supposed to be our enforcer, if you want to call it that. He's supposed to take care of if any of our so-called stars get pushed around or whatever.
Boston will attempt to push the Canadiens around.
Oh, for sure.
They're playing a team in which George Larocque, they're going to be tough to stop, Coach. But if things get out of hand, at least you have George Larocque to punch Chair in the face.
Well, yeah, exactly, supposedly. But I'd like to know, again, looking at it and watching them play very often, and you've seen a lot of highlights, is when is the last time this year did he actually went after somebody that said, hey, you just wiped out whoever, Kovalev, we'll say, from the Canadiens, and you're not going to push our players around. And he went after him I wouldn't even say to start a fight, but to just nail him with a real good check. And that hasn't happened at all.
I think he's one of these guys that wants to show that he's more than a fighter. I always thought that he was a reluctant fighter. He's not one of these dumb type of, vengeful type of guys that really enjoy, as good as he is at fighting. I never got the feeling that he really embraced it, actually. I think he embraced the money that he made and the role that he had for a while. I think more so the money and the longevity of playing internationally. Like Donald Brashear enjoyed it, Coach. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Donald Brashear said, come on, let's fight. Let me punch you in the face. Punch me. He likes it. I never got the feeling that George Larocque liked it. I think he wants to prove to people that he can play hockey. But at this stage of his career, I think, that's basically not going to happen.
Well, if I was the coach or the management, and I'm sitting down and telling him, look, I don't need you to go out there and fight every 2 minutes. But when somebody, if you want to call it, takes advantage of some of our better skilled players, you've got to go in there and make your presence felt. In other words, check him hard, hit him on the boards, play a tough type game versus those particular players. And if a fight ensues, well, it ensues. But you can't pretend that you're a hockey player. If you really think you're a hockey player, let's spend 10 minutes and go take a look at the video and watch you. I think if the other goalie went home, he couldn't score. I mean, he's terrible. He's absolutely terrible. He can't handle the puck. He can't skate. That's maybe part of the problem. He can't skate to catch somebody to check them. It's, again, and now if I'm playing him and I have him on, he's going to be, your place is right at the end of the bench. You sit there, and when I call for you that I need you, we'll bring you on the ice. But until then, if we have to double shift somebody, that's fine. But you're going to stay there because when I put you on the ice, unless it's for a specific reason, you're a liability.
Well, Coach, we'll see you on Friday. But before we let you go, you've seen the Canadiens and Bruins play in the playoffs a lot over the years. The Canadiens 24-7 historically in the postseason. Bruins 5-0-1 against the Canadiens this year. 100th anniversary of the Canadiens. Do you think that there's another upset in store in this heated postseason rivalry between the two of them, Coach?
It's a possibility. I mean, after I watched the last game, the Canadiens they didn't get involved in the scraps. They antagonized the Bruins, and they ended up scoring a lot of goals on the power play. Could they stop the Bruins from scoring? That's a big question. But everybody gets a little tighter in the playoffs. I would almost say that more pressure's on the Bruins right now than they're on the Canadiens. Canadiens squeaked in to the playoffs. The Bruins had first locked up for a long time, and they manhandled the Canadiens all year. So if I look at it, the collar is going to be a little tighter on the Bruins' neck than it is on the Canadiens, because who expects the Canadiens to win?
And the fact is, too, I've always felt that I understand the home ice advantage, home court advantage, home field advantage, etc. is big, but in a 7-game series, I would prefer to start on the road. As you stated, Boston, everybody in Boston knows the history between the Canadiens. Everybody has a defeatist attitude about it. I know this year they're more confident, but nevertheless, the Canadiens can steal a game in Boston. They win a game in Boston. They go back to Montreal and take Game 3. The wheels could start falling off for the Bruins, and the chance of ole and all that type of stuff takes over. And, the Canadiens are a pretty streaky team. They're going to be in. It's going to be a hell of a series. Coach, I look forward to seeing you, and hopefully your son Dave can come along on Friday night as well at Trophies.
Yeah, Dave's going to come with me, and I'm going to try and drag Marwin there, too, without his baseball bat, and to make sure that he's there to see you. So.
And we'll see if we can get Marwin's girlfriend from last time.
Oh, boy.
To Trophy Sports Bar.
Yeah, I guess so.
Hey, Coach, it's always a pleasure.
Okay, and again, thank you for everything what you do for us and how you've been instrumental in helping us in many, many ventures. And again, thank you to all your staff fellows, your confrères there. They're always helpful also. So I'll see you all on Friday.
Hey, you're a class act, Coach. Always a pleasure. Yeah, Marwin Hage, now the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Once the Trophies, want to get the party started. He was trying to get women to take their tops off. It's like, come on. There was really only like 3 women in the damn place. They weren't in. In fact, they were kind of hostile about it. So we figured, money might change people's perspective. So we started like pooling money together. And Hage, we're all busting out like 20s and stuff. And Hage is like, you guys are fucking cheap. Just bust out $200. So we had a stack. And he's like, I'll give this stack of money to the girl that gets the craziest. And this crackhead hooker, I don't know, man. She had like Wonder Woman ears. Like she heard or she smelt the money from like across the street. She fucking barreled through the door, man. Just took off all her clothes, started doing nasty stuff on the table and stuff. And it was actually so nasty, people wanted it to end. Yeah, it was... Trophy Sports Bar this Friday night. Who knows what'll happen? That was one time. Another time, Tangerine Dream smoked a cigarette with her pussy. Things usually get out of hand at Trophy Sports Bar. It's a real shame you won't be there, Cohen. It's right down your lane, as they say.
I'm not happy about it. I would have loved to have been there throwing it down with you guys, but I'm sure you'll have a blast without me, and probably won't even be thinking about what I'm missing out on.
Yeah, I don't know why you don't come to Montreal one of these times, Cohen. Just because you're a Leafs fan, aren't you a semi-Canadians fan? You can hop on a bandwagon.
Yeah,
you can wear a Canadians jersey and wave the flag there and stuff. People, you buy in.
I laid it down with the Canadians. I think they're a great value.
Tell a French Canadians fan starts talking, you're just going to look at them. What? Oh, what?
And no parlez-vous français. I'll get there for one of your road rages for sure. I mean, I know it'll be a blast, and I'll be feeling
I doubt it. It's been nearly 3 years now.
Well, you've only been there, 3-4 times?
Every 3-4 months. Yeah, no, you're right. 3-4 times.
Yeah, so I'll get to one.
Red Sox have a runner on second base, 2 out.
First and second, 2 out.
And now a walk. Oakland had runners on first and third, man. Unable to cash it in. I've got the Boston Red Sox. We'll see what happens in this baseball game. We'll obviously let everybody know as soon as something transpires. We appreciate the patience of everybody on hold. We've got Eddie, Baroni, Rad Rich, Martin in London, T-Bone Vegas. Let's get to T-Bone in Vegas. Chris Montreal on deck. Our boy Rad Rich in Texas. T-Bone Vegas. Hello, T-Bone.
Hey,
what's going on?
Oh, no, boss. Just all pissed off about my Cardinals blowing the game,
I had the under in that game. Carpenter goes down, and as Boss Hogg would say, my play went down quicker than a fat woman in quicksand.
Yeah, that bullpen really sucked. I heard you guys on the Pharrell show, and I was actually driving around, and right when it went down, Lou said, the Cardinals are in a bunch of trouble here, and I figured we'd be losing the game. I had a bet on them, so I was kind of following it.
Yeah, it was only 3-0. It was 3-0 Cardinals when Lou said that. I'm like, no, we can get out of this. We'll be all right. Evidently not.
Yeah, exactly. At least old Perkins Family Restaurant, it was Perkins Family Heartburn there for a while, but at least that came around.
Yeah, the soup was cold early. He was getting fucking hit hard. They were foul. They were at the warning track. They were against the wall. But then the main course arrived, and Perkins settled down.
Yeah, and then the other day I went down to Blessing's show at the Wild Wings last Thursday. Made sure to tell him, that, I hear him on your station and part of Hardcore Country, and said what's up to him. So that was pretty cool. But did you watch that Williams Winky Wright fight this last weekend?
No, I didn't get to see it live.
I
saw clips of it after the fact, but I didn't get to see it live.
It was pretty crazy. I went to it, and it was a pretty mediocre fight. It went down to a decision. Any fight that goes into a decision is kind of boring. But it was just the thing I was wanting to talk about was, man, I think they only sold about 1,000 tickets or something there. It was just pathetic, the crowd. And in fact, they went all the way around on the top where people are sitting up at the top, the $50 tickets and stuff. And they moved them down to, 10 rows off the floor and stuff.
Were they walking around the casino? Hey, anybody want tickets to a fight? I mean, yeah, you're right. It was pretty beaten down. And, I wanted to bet on Paul Williams, but I wasn't going to lay minus 275. I was put off. It's a strange fight. Williams always fights himself. Nobody really wants to fight him. And it was a strange night. You had Strikeforce going on as well. But, good performance by Williams, yet, kind of just a weird fight for him. But a minus 275, I didn't lay it down on him, but I thought he was going to win.
Yeah, I took him, and then I did it with the KO, so I lost, just trying to get some value.
I hate that, I hate betting on a boxing match, and you win, but you don't win because of, the distance or the total rounds. That pisses me off, man.
Yeah, it definitely does me, too. But I wouldn't even bet it if I wasn't going to it, but, you got to throw something down on it to make it fun to watch. But the other thing, that Exiance, that's good stuff. I drink that all the time, and that's about it, Gabe. I'll let you go, man. Take care.
Hey, T-Bone, I look forward to seeing you again in Vegas, man. You're a class act. T-Bone, cool dude. He was down there with us at the Palace Station Casino last time we were in Vegas. Chuck Liddell was actually our guest there. Chuck Liddell fighting on Saturday night in Montreal. minus 188 right now against Shogun Hua. Chris, in the aforementioned Montreal. How you doing, Chris?
Good, man. Yourself?
Hey, always a pleasure to hear from you, man.
You're talking about Harry Callis, and you're talking about Mark Friedrich, and even last week Joe Fraser. It was a great interview, by the way. And it's amazing when you think about these guys, how much sports has changed since these guys were. I remember Harry Callis when the Expos were the first times the Expos were competitive in '79, '80, through to let's say '83, and most of those, I think, 3 out of those 5 years they were in the race with the Phillies, and the other 2 years, if they weren't in it with the Phillies would be playing the teams they were in it with in September. And there was no internet back then, and there was no satellite radio or satellite TV. So if you wanted to know what was going on, you had to go switch around the radio dial, and WCAU 1210. That was where you could catch the Philly games. And like after the Expos would have been playing the Cubs, and the game was over. Well, you wanted to know how the Phillies were making on. They say they were playing the Mets or the Cardinals or whoever, and you go over there and you'd hear that fucking voice. That it was an amazing voice, and that voice sort of became synonymous with baseball. And you don't have those guys anymore.
No, the only guys that we have now that are like that are the older guys, and even they are far and few between right now. Basically, Vin Scully.
Yeah, that's it.
And the players as well. I mean, Bert Blyleven. Bert Blyleven still makes his money in the game, so he's going to be a little bit positive about things, but there's no personalities anymore either. I mean, with the managers, from the umpires right on down. I mean, the classic, and anybody can find it on YouTube, I'm sure, to Earl Weaver. The classic, "You're a liar, Earl. Don't call me a liar. Don't you fucking touch me." I mean, they were crazy. They got away with the Billy Martin kicking the dirt on home plate, the Reggie Jackson, the
umpire Ron Luciano.
Yeah.
He could never get away with that today. They wouldn't.
I know.
That wouldn't be tolerated.
I liked him too. Well, and to the announcers. I mean, now you got Joe fucking Buck. He used to be Tony Kubek, Bob Costas, Joey Garagiola.
Yeah.
These guys used to love the game. Now Joe Buck does interviews. On his radio show, he says how he's bored. He doesn't even like baseball.
Well, he should go away.
But yeah, but he does it because
you could hear his old man on KMOX. If the weather was clear enough, you could get it all the way in Montreal. You could get Bob Murphy on WOR with the Mets games. On KD, you mentioned Milo Hamilton. Well, he would have been doing the Pirate games on KDKA. And nowadays, it's technologically advanced with the internet and satellite radio. You don't need to sit there fiddling with a radio dial.
Yeah, but there's something cool about it. And in fact, now it blows because I have the sports pack, so I'm paying it. Basically, I get every game on television all the time in every league. But I actually miss the old days, and it actually accelerated my degenerate compulsive gambling habits, Chris. And but that's actually why I'm in radio right now, because I was exactly like you. I was one of those kids from the early days with Duke Van Horn and Duke Snyder, Dave Van Horn and Duke Snyder, obviously. Listen to the Expos, but the Larry King radio show, Ted Teven, and onwards as I got into my teens and started to gamble more, to listening to Chicago Bulls games. As you stated, this is before the internet. But it was amazing. The radio was just this magical fucking thing where you moved it half an inch. You're like, oh, there's the Philadelphia 76er game. Exactly. And it was amazing. It was like I used to get whatever game I wanted, Chris.
Pretty much.
No, really. Like, I bet on the Notre Dame-Rutgers game tonight, college basketball. I'd sit there for like an hour, just moving the dial like half a millimeter. I'm like, oh, I got it. And I'm like, no, that's the DePaul game. Then you keep going and you get it. You can't... technology isn't always better. Nowadays, you can't, you must be a subscriber, $19.99, nothing's motherfucking free anymore.
Not just that, but you only have 2 eyes. In 2 ears, you can't watch everything. You can't listen to everything. You can have 9 million games available to you, but you only watch one at a time. And Friedrich, I remember him becoming like this frickin' phenomenon. And it seemed like every Saturday or every second Saturday they'd find a way that he'd be on the game of the week, and his turn in the rotation would come up, and he became so fucking big, man.
But there used to be that phenom, like I talked about it, Fernando Mania.
Yeah.
There was a phenom, where you had to be at the ballpark. When these guys came to town, when, Willie Stargell and Dave Parker, the We Are Family Pirates. You mentioned the Phillies, the Mike Schmidt, Gary Matthews, Greg Luzinski, Steve Carltons. They were, the Cincinnati Reds were one of arguably the best team of all time. There was a reason. Now there's a reason that, the athletes are great. They're better than they've ever been now. But, right now I'm watching a game. Who the fuck's Kurt Suzuki? Kurt Suzuki's from Japan, evidently. He doesn't look any different than fucking, Jack Cust or any fucking buddy else. They're all a bunch of robot-ass clones, man.
Pretty much. And
Blyleven said, well, it's the media, and I get that. But for fuck's sake, somebody man up and speak their mind. If you want to have a big afro, have the afro. Nobody has beards anymore. Nobody has anything anymore. Nobody has any fucking personality.
Remember Oscar Gamble with the afro?
That was good stuff.
If I remember right, that year, that one great year Friedrich had, that was the bicentennial year in '76.
It was '76, yeah.
The All-Star game was in Philadelphia that year, and the Liberty Bell and all that shit. And man, the ratings were enormous because he was starting that All-Star game. And then you had Joe Frazier and the younger people that are listed, like people that are say under 35, they couldn't possibly know how big those fights with Ali were. I mean, they weren't just on the front page of the sports section; they were on the front page of the frickin' newspaper. Those were not just, they were bigger than the Super Bowl. That first fight was bigger than the frickin' Super Bowl. I mean, it monopolized discussions. When Ali fought Foreman, that monopolized the discussion for weeks and weeks and weeks. And boxing was so freaking big that now it's like an afterthought almost. Saturday night at 11:30, you're in a bar, you buy the pay-per-view, and that's it.
Well, think about it from a Montreal perspective. Which two fighters in the world right now could you take and sell out the Olympic Stadium like Sugar Ray Leonard and Roberto Duran did?
It would be tough.
Like, what combination?
It would be tough.
If Manny Pacquiao and Ricky Hatton were fighting there on May 2nd...
They'd have a hard time selling out the
yeah, you're not getting 52,000 people.
No.
Really. What, Pretty Boy Floyd Mayweather? As if.
I don't think so.
What fighter could you take? None. There's no even any matchup of anything that you can match. I mean, those days of Montreal is a flourishing boxing scene right now, actually.
Sure, but I mean...
But as a whole, as you stated, not as a knock on Montreal, but as on the sport itself, you're right. It's everything's changed, man, and the media is a lot to blame because the media facilitates this. The fact that it's on all the time, the fact that, I remember being a kid and watching Spinks beat Ali. It was free. It was on,
Yeah.
We saw this stuff for free.
Yeah.
They're idiots, these guys, and they can't fucking figure it out. Everyone talks about boxing. Well, you know what? That's what's wrong with boxing. You got to stay up till 1 a.m. and pay $55, maybe to get a fair fight. Put it on CBS Sports Spectacular Saturday with Tim Ryan like they used to. With Gil Clancy. With the Fight Doctor on NBC on Saturday afternoons with Marv Albert. Ratings were huge.
Sure they were.
You put good fights on Saturday afternoon on network television, they'll be huge. You walk into NBC and you tell them that's what you want to put on Saturday afternoon on network television. You know what'll be huge? They'll laugh as they laugh in your face.
Well, I remember the first title.
They'll tell you know what? Now, we got some ice-capades on tape that we're going to run, and we don't have to deal with anybody, so why don't you get out of my office?
Exactly. Well, the first fight the first title that Leonard won when he beat Benitez, never mind Saturday afternoon, that was on a Friday night. Hagler fought Vito Antuofermo. There was like 3 or 4 championship fights on a Friday night. They would. That's inconceivable.
Look at now, TSN2. Hopefully, you're not a Devil or Carolina Hurricane fan in Canada because you won't see it.
No. Yeah, exactly. Is that available anywhere, that TSN2?
I guess it's available like on like Shaw Cable and like the mountains of BC type
I don't
thing.
think it's available here.
No, it's not available there.
And I know from what I've heard you guys say, it's not available.
No, the Raptors weren't on in the city of Toronto at all this year.
That's pretty good. Well,
I picked a good year, actually, not to be on.
Yeah, it's freaking brilliant. What's the deal with I was listening to your replay this morning. I got home late from work last night, so I didn't hear your show. And then you were talking about the new schedule, and then whoever did the editing edited it right there, and it jumped, and you didn't mention, and I couldn't catch what it is that you're getting a new show or something.
Yeah, well, it cut off. Nero cut it off because replays.
No, I'm not criticizing.
That's not his fault. We go over time.
3 hours. He's got to.
Yeah, we got to cut 3 hours and 20 minutes into 3 hours. So bang, it's gone. That's right. Well, obviously with Richard Garner moving on, there's going to be some changes here. So basically, I step up and in with Cam Stewart every day at 5:30. The name of the show is Morency. I want it to be called Hard Drive, actually, but whatever. I'm not going to look the gift horse in the mouth and say, I'm not doing the show because of the name. Okay. But so it'll be me and Cam at 5:30. Then at 6 o'clock, Greg Sansoni's going to join us for a half an hour. And then from 6:30 to 7, we'll be joined by a Covers.com expert, and we'll concentrate on the gambling side of things. But on a more serious note, we're not going to be taking calls for people to rattle off their 8-game Pro Line and Mies tickets anymore.
Oh, that's a good thing. So that's on the radio and the TV.
That's radio and TV starting on April 20th, next Monday.
Plus, you're going to be doing your 3 hours from 11 till 2?
That is correct.
Holy fuck, man. Better get load up on those energy drinks, man.
Yeah, I got a stack of them in front of me. I'll be all right, Chris. You remember the old days in Montreal? I was out 18 hours a day sometimes.
This is true. I hope to see you. I know I'm not going to see you on Thursday. I hope to see you Friday.
Hey, good stuff. I know that it's the Greek Easter on Friday, but hopefully everybody can get out even later, than better late than never. Your Class Act, Chris. Hopefully I see you, man.
Okay, man. Take care.
There's Chris from Montreal, Class Act. We appreciate everybody's patience. Let's get to Eddie. Eddie's been very patient. We got Eddie, Baroni, and Martin in London. It was cool to speak to Baroni on the Farrell show earlier this evening with Cam Stewart. Scotty Farrell will be on this new show that we're doing next week on television and radio on Wednesday. Eddie.
It's Eddie.
All right, I know that every night I come up and I say we gotta stop it, but I'm not just saying it. I'm not joking about this one. Tomorrow night's gonna be. Listen, tomorrow night. I know with all the new shows coming up and everything, including Cohen's Up to Date, starting next Monday as well. Everybody's been busy here, but we can't. That's damaging stuff, man. And we're not going to be taking calls on Thursday and Friday for the most part, unless you got some really cool breaking news or something. So I'm assuming by next week we will no longer have Cohen butchering the song or the cats and dogs and everything, because it really is just fucking annoying.
I agree. Go back to Orton's music.
I was actually never sure if you were serious about me getting rid of it. I can get rid of it.
I'm dead serious. I'm totally dead serious.
Consider it gone.
All right, yeah, thanks. I think Eddie would appreciate that too. How you doing, Eddie?
Oh my God, you get pissed off every time, and I laugh every time it comes on.
You know, it actually gets worse.
It does.
Maybe that's what people are talking about with the Rickster. I find the Rickster amusing, so it's a little bit different. But every time I hear that intro with Cohen and the dogs and singing and everything, it just gets worse and more fucking aggravating.
I'm not laughing. I'm kind of laughing at your anger. I mean, I hate it too, but just hearing your reaction when it comes on is just fucking gold.
So how you doing, Eddie? What's on your mind?
I'm doing good. Apparently the Canucks are locked for St. Louis. According to the monkey on TSN, we're going to win.
Oh, Maggie the monkey?
Yeah.
Well, Cam Stewart picked the Vancouver Canucks on the Farrell show earlier this evening to win the Stanley Cup.
Wow. Wow.
Listen to a little Metallica there, Eddie?
Seek and Destroy. I guess you can hear it.
Hey, I hear all.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
Well, I like to. I'm one of those true Metallica fans. I love all their music, including the newer stuff. I don't love it as much as I like the older stuff. I hate these people that are like, oh, I hate new Metallica. It's like, it's Metallica. I go, $5 says if any other band name was on that album load, it'd be considered one of their greatest albums of all time.
Yeah, Metallica get judged in a different manner. There's no doubt about it. Me personally, my favorite Metallica records are Ride the Lightning and Master of Puppets.
Oh, yeah, my favorite. I got that.
Kill 'Em All is good, too, but I think that Ride the Lightning like 1 and 1A with Master of Puppets.
I'm the opposite. I think Master of Puppets is the greatest record to ever hit the store shelves, ever. Like, it's one of the when I was a kid, it was hard for me to listen to a CD or a cassette all the way through. And fucking, I listened to this, my friend brings this over. My sister had a record player. I was probably about 8 years old. Brought this fucking thing over and this album with these crosses, and I'm like, wow, this is going to be fucking hardcore. Oh,
Raining Blood's a pretty good record.
Oh, yeah, that's a nice one, yeah. I got, yeah. But I've been
What's your favorite record of all time there, Nero?
If it's Metallica, Injustice for All.
Injustice for All.
A big fan of one, too.
Isn't it called Injustice for Some?
No, it's Injustice for All.
You sure?
I'm positive.
All right.
Oh, my God. This show's awesome. I love this show.
Sometimes it is. Not always.
Yeah. I know. It's heartbreaking when you get callers or emailers like Corey, but hey.
Corey's all right. I don't have a problem with Corey. Corey's the one, he's got more, I don't know why Corey, took it so personally. The guy called up and said the show sucked. I thought I was pretty nice, actually, after what he said. I let him say the show sucked. I said, all right, thanks for making the show better. I didn't personally, I was contingent of not personally calling him out because I actually personally like Corey. So, I don't want Corey to get bashed after the fact. Hopefully Corey calls into the show again in the future. But, the name of the show is Sports Rage.
I know.
It's like, so we're all, everyone's going to exchange words every now and then.
Oh, I know. I'm not trying to. Corey. Yeah, he has the right to throw anybody and everybody under the bus. Like you said, the show is called Hardcore Sports, or Sports Rage. The fact that he got deterred from your little comment, and now he's like, "Oh, I'm retiring from calling in." Blah. I'm like, "Oh my God, dude!" It's like, dude, if you're gonna fucking throw rocks, you should expect a couple of rocks to come back your way.
I like the way that's wise words. It should be in a fortune cookie, Eddie.
It's just,
That's what you should do. You should get a job. Eddie's like words of wisdom. You should be writing quotes, in fortune cookies.
Oh, I don't know, man. I'd have a couple people killing themselves, maybe.
That would be the fortune. Kill yourself now. Master of Puppets, best Metallica record. Metallica rules. People go, Metallica, what? Oh, what?
Oh, well, when I die, I'm gonna have my iPod in my casket, or when I'm cremated, it's gonna be fucking playing Metallica over and over again.
You know what? I'm not big on autographs and all that type of stuff, but I party with Metallica when Cliff Burton was still around. And,
I remember you were telling me that.
I had Kill 'Em All. I was actually in a record store. It was like in the basement of a record store, and they had the record, and I actually gave them like some weed there. And I think it might have been hash at the time, whatever. And so yeah, they signed the record, whatever. Cliff Burton, and they gave me tickets and shit. Wasp actually headline. Metallica opened up for Wasp. This was like Ride the Lightning. It just came out. It didn't even really hit big yet. And but I lived with this dude, and I never paid rent. I couch surfed on this guy's couch for like 6 months. It was annoying. He never got laid. And I made it worse. I'd bring chicks back. So, I'd be with a chick at his place, and he's just like, I'm not even paying and stuff. And so he always had his eye on the. Once I told him, you can have that Metallica record. And I was all wasted. I regret doing it, I would have rather just paid, but it is what it is, Eddie.
Oh, I know. I would kill to have a fucking autograph from Metallica or Cliff Burton. The fact that this new guitar game, Guitar Metallica. It's kick-ass because I know a lot of stuff about Metallica. But this has a lot of other insane stuff. I was pissed off that I found out Kerrang released 20-year did a magazine. I think they have a CD each month with the magazine, and the 20th anniversary of Master of Puppets, they released a CD with 8 different bands covering each of the songs on Master of Puppets. And I was like, I gotta try to look for that now.
Well, maybe some of the covers are good. Sometimes covers of classics can be better.
Oh yeah, like Metallica's Turn the Page is way better than Bob Seger's version. Definitely their version of Whiskey in the Jar is better than the Thin Lizzy's.
Let's not get carried away.
Hey man, I love their version of Whiskey in the Jar. It's awesome.
Thin Lizzy, all-time, one of the all-time classic bands.
Yeah, they got some good songs, but I still think that Metallica's version of Whiskey in the Jar is pretty fucking good.
It is good. It is good.
The thing I hated was other bands trying to cover Metallica songs because they butchered them. There's actually 2 bands out there that covered Metallica right. It's Biff Naked, she's a Canadian artist. She did Nothing Else Matters, really fucking good. And another band, they're like a Mexican or something like that. They're 2 classical guitars, Rodrigo y Gabriela for Orion.
It's pretty good pronunciation there, Eddie.
Yeah.
Motorhead
today, Enter Sandman.
What about Korn? Didn't Korn do one?
They did an okay job. It didn't blow my mind. Like Biff Naked's version of Nothing Else Matters, she added her own flair to it. Like, it still sounded classic, but she just kind of added her own element to it. That kind of, like, that's the thing about covers. Like, if you make a song and it sounds just like the original, then it's not a cover. It's just like a tribute song or whatever it is.
Always good, Eddie.
Yeah.
Eddie and Prince Rupert.
It's Eddie.
It's Eddie.
Yeah.
Eddie got pretty excited when talking about Metallica. You can see his excitement level started to rise there. Mentioned Biff Naked doing a good cover of a Metallica song. You know who Biff Naked is, Cohen?
Of course I do.
Tattooed singer from Vancouver. She's got a hot sister, actually.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, she plays in some other... she used to be in, like, a chick metal band there. Big rack. Big rack. This Boston Gabe just keeps on going into the night. Looks like it could be a long night for you there, Colin.
Yeah, you'll be able to get the final score off the ticker. But certainly 5-5, bottom of the 11th right now. And, Dice Cake is up 5 in the first. Doesn't make it out of the first inning.
So what's the deal here? We're completely up to date up to the end of sports race.
Up till 2:30 in the morning. I can't stay here all night when games go extra innings in April. But...
the Red Sox, I mean...
Well, that's right, and it's 5-5, and hopefully you think Nero wants to stay till 4 in the morning? You'll get the final score off the ticker if it's still going after the show.
Do you have any problems, Nero?
I have no problem with going till 4 in the morning.
Nero, okay, I'll remember that when the NHL playoffs start tomorrow and the Canucks go 4 overtimes and we're here at 5 o'clock in the morning together.
So are you saying there'll be an exception? So for the NHL playoffs?
I will make exceptions for the NHL playoffs, absolutely. I'll never, you'll always get every NHL score no matter how late the game goes.
I look forward to that, Colin.
There you go.
Because it happens to be your favorite sport.
You're
like, all right, I'll stay for that.
Well, I mean, I think it's important enough that with an NHL playoff game, you get the final score. A Boston Red Sox game in the middle of April, you can get it off the ticker if it's 5-5 at 2:35 in the morning Eastern.
Unimportant. Red Sox, nobody cares about them, right?
No, they do, Orville, but hear the promo. If you want the score, you get it off the ticker if the game's still going at fucking 2:40 in the morning.
Morency, I'm a hardcore Leaf fan, but what the fuck is Burke thinking? I've had a hard time trying to like him since he's taken over. It feels like his job is getting to his head, thinking he can pull off anything. He's always telling everyone his every move, which only makes him look like an idiot when it doesn't work out. The only thing he's going to be able to do this year is maybe move up a couple of spots. Even then, it's going to be tough with the Leafs roster. You should just stay put and draft Braden Shen. Work with a brother duo because there's definitely potential there. What do you think, Andreas in Montreal? I wouldn't be surprised if he actually does get Shen's brother. I think he's appeasing everybody. I like Brian Burke. The guy is good at what he does, in my opinion, but in my opinion, he's also an egomaniac. He loves the camera. He loves to be talked about, and I was just thinking to myself the other day, actually. I probably should have said this. Now I'm pulling a Cohen. Oh, I knew that. I was thinking the other day, I'm like, you know what? I bet you Brian Burke just says something stupid in the next couple of days. Just because the team's not in the playoffs and he's not going to get talked about. And presto, he says something. Let's give it another 10 days. And it's kind of like Terrell Owens used to be. T.O. wasn't, people weren't talking about him. You know, he'd come out and do something. He'd say something. Then Randy Moss was getting, I think he was getting jealous. So Randy Moss did the interview. Yeah, I smoke weed all the time. Nobody cared. Yeah, whatever, Randy. Good for you. It's funny how certain people, he guy admitted it. Yeah, I smoke weed. Nobody said anything, man. Poor bastard on the fucking Maverick said he smokes weed. It's the end of the fucking world, man. Is it Josh Howard? Yeah, this guy says he smokes weed. They never, you know. Michael Phelps gets caught with a bong. Hey, Rickster, shut your face about the Leafs. It's over. They're done. It's playoff time. Talk about quality hockey teams that made the playoffs. Nobody cares about the Leafs. Get some new material. Leaf talk past April or like your calls. Pointless. If you want to talk NHL, spare everyone the Leaf talk. Fuck Brian Burke. He's overhyped. I would slap him in public if I met him. Sincerely, Beantown Goon. I think Burke's a pretty big, surly guy, actually. I think he can handle himself. Gabe Morency, what's up? It's been a while. Been a while since I checked in. I thought I'd start by putting on the table the Vancouver Giants are going to win the Western Hockey League Championship and bring the Memorial Cup back to Vancouver. Anybody care to wager? Cohen, Kyle? Secondly, I want to rage on the NHL. These fucking NHL schedule makers are my dickwad. Please explain why there's no doubleheader this Saturday. Why the fuck did they not put the Canucks on Saturday instead of Friday? And why isn't the Ducks game on? Instead, they put the Canadiens game on at 5. They're not even giving a fuck that the Canadiens and Bruins will be on during the UFC. Fuck the NHL and the motherfuckers who make up the schedule. Keep it real. Gino in Vancouver. Fair enough. Good email. Fair enough. Morency. I would hate to sound like the Big E, but my dickwad of the night of the Utah Jazz. I know the Lakers are a better team, but come on. They're playing for nothing. And they're playing to leapfrog a seed or two? Fucking spineless cum guzzlers. Fuck you. P.S. Last night was a challenge. Next time you and Cam throw it down to the GTA, me and the Beantown Goon will buy a few bottles at whichever bar we're at, and we'll teach you guys how to drink. All right. Once again, that sounds like a challenge, as I stated. Hey, Morency, I finally figured it out that the nights at the cocksucker is what some clam... He takes his anti-crazy pills, and then, like tonight, he's oblivious that he didn't take his anti-crazy pills. Hey, please, Cockster, take your anti-crazy pills so we can understand all that mumbling or whatever crazy language that you speak. To be honest, it sounds like you're going mad, and you have a mouthful of dirty, used douche rags. Later, Dirty Dick James. I believe that's directed at the Rickster. Since I said Cockster... my guess is that the Rickster. Hey, Morency, I emailed last night, but I guess it was too late to get read on the air. I just want to say it's unbelievable you guys, to you, how bad the one pick you got wrong. Fuck them. Let me state you've honestly made me over a dime in the past few weeks, and I appreciate it. People don't have to listen to your picks if they don't want to. And if they click and they lose, they shouldn't blame anyone but themselves. Can't make it to Montreal, but if ever you or Cam, I'll definitely be buying you guys a few drinks. I am thinking of taking both 8 seeds in the first round. Really like the Ducks, and I'm a Canadiens fan. What do you think? I got real lucky with the over in that Texas-Baltimore game tonight. Gotta love it. Great show, Chasen Markham. I think both 8 seeds could be worth a look, actually. I'm leaning with the Anaheim Ducks, and even though, the Bruins-Canadiens series, man, that could really go anyway. It's not a typical 8 one. All right, let's get back to the pipelines and wrap it up via the pipelines. We appreciate the patience. Let's get to Martin, and Baroni will have the last word. Martin, London. What up, Martin?
Hello?
Hey, Martin.
How's it going, Gabe?
Doing okay. Martin, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'd love to fuck the shit out of Biff naked. She's fucking hot with those big tits, man.
I'd do her.
Oh, fuck. I'd do her hard.
I like her sister better, to be honest. Biff naked, her face, her body's good with all the tattoos and the tits.
Oh, yeah.
But and I'm down with the piercings. I like the punk look, but her sister's actually pretty cute. I don't know what band she's in. I forget. Or we'll try to find out what band Biff Naked's sister was in. I'm sure there's a Wikipedia something about Biff Naked's sister. But yeah, Biff Naked's all right.
No, it doesn't matter what fucking band she's in. I just want to
bothering me. It's bothering me that I can't remember. Biff Naked, though, her entire career has been funded by taxpayers, right?
Yeah, I know.
Man, all she does is like video grant fucking videos and stuff, but hey, whatever.
going back to what you were saying there earlier with that one caller there about radio and whatnot. I remember when I was growing up in London there, and I used to listen to the fucking Chicago Blackhawks games on AM because you'd fiddle with the fucking knobs and, you know, just 1 inch to the right and whatever, and you could get a fucking Chicago or St. Louis or Detroit. You know,
it sounds crazy that people would complain now because, you know, we can get all these games on television now pretty quickly, or at least on the internet. But
it's not the same.
No, there's something cool about it. It's like, to me, you know, I think a good comparison could be like, you know, actual newspapers. I like reading the newspaper. It's too bad that the news in a newspaper is like 2 days old, but I prefer reading a newspaper than reading a story on a computer. I prefer like the paper form still, but you know, hey, it'd be hard. Probably would be idiots if we said the internet blew, right? I guess we're just getting old and cranky.
Well, you were saying there that the only guys left is that Vin Scully, but what about that? There's one guy in Milwaukee there too.
Bob Uecker.
Bob Uecker. He's been around for.
Yeah, he's a good personality.
He's excellent in the major leagues. They're just a bit outside. That was a fucking funny movie.
No, he's you know, he's funny, but you know, Bob Uecker's not one of the. He's a funny guy. He's a character without a doubt, but he's not an iconic voice. He's an iconic character, but he's not an iconic voice.
Hey Gabe, what do you think about this? I've been thinking about it with the NHL and everything like that, and I'm thinking Vancouver and Boston Stanley Cup. What do you think?
I wouldn't have a problem with it just because it would be fresh and interesting. It would be pretty cool. Yeah. You know, the Vancouver Canuck bandwagon is filling up. You know, last call for the Canucks bandwagon. People are going to jump it on left and right. That's not crazy talk. I don't think the Bruins are going to make it to the Stanley Cup Finals, though, personally. I think the Vancouver Canucks have a better chance of making it to the Finals than the Bruins do.
Right. Hey, Gabe, what about my Royals there, man? They're starting out pretty good, eh?
Royals are getting it done, man. Getting it done.
Fucking Zach Greinke, man. I'm telling you, that guy, when he's on his fucking anti-nut fucking pills there, he's actually does a pretty decent job there, and that, you know, I don't know, man. You know, like they're not looking too fucking bad here. So I know it's only like 9 games in, but.
One thing is, well, we knew they were going to be good. I went on record as to say next year's the Royals' year. So I think, you know, this is the year in which they actually hang around a little bit, and then around August they fall off. But positive thing about the Royals, they have to be happy with the pitching. Offensively, starting to come around a little bit. Alex Gordon's been banged up, so we'll see what he can bring to the table. But the thing that they have to be slightly pleased with behind closed doors is just what other teams are doing in their division. Nobody's running away. The Indians are a mess. The Twins are underachieving. The Tigers' pitching's a joke. The White Sox no one's losing sleep at night about the White Sox. So you look at the division, actually, nobody's running away with this right now.
Well, no, it's only still 9 games in, but the Royals, you know, like they've played Cleveland now and they beat them twice.
Yeah. I know it's really early, Martin, and there's still teams that are in it, but no, seriously, if you're the Washington Nationals, you're out of it.
Yeah.
You're 6 games back already. You're 6 games out of first place. Are the Nationals making these 6 games up on the Marlins or the Braves or the Phillies or any of these teams? I'd be willing to bet like $1 million that they don't.
Yeah. Well, hey, man, that Mike Jacobs trade there, they sent down 2 pitchers and Ross Glode for Mike Jacobs from the Marlins there. That was a pretty decent trade. But, hey, man, to end it out there, the best Metallica CD around, I think, is that fucking Garage Days Revisited, the first one with...
That's good.
With Crash Course and Brain Surgery and Last Caress, Green Hell. That was fucking awesome.
Yeah, they who was the band? Is it the Diamond Band? Diamond Head.
Yeah,
Diamond Head, and Metallica were big. Obviously, the Misfits were already big, and the Misfits didn't need Metallica. But the Garage Days record, that helped sell a ton of motherfucking records for all these old bands, without a doubt.
Definitely.
And I like the production work.
All that Budgie and Diamond Head and the fucking all these, the New York Dolls and all these fucking 70s bands and shit like that.
Hey, always good, Martin. Don't be a stranger. The thing that's funny with Metallica is, they spend all the money producing their records, and the records generally blow. The production, for one reason or another, Metallica's production. Lars Ulrich's drums suck. That's the problem with Metallica, in my opinion. I know they're the metal kings, basically, but Lars Ulrich and the sound, man, it's like he's hitting a cardboard box. And it was ironic. They do the Garage Days, in which they actually recorded it themselves, basically, without all the fancy bells, whistles, and gadgets. The million fucking layered tracks. They just did it basically in a garage, and it actually sounds better than some of the crap fucking $5 million produced records that they put out. But that's just me. Baroni in the desert wraps things up via the pipeline. As we spoke to Baroni earlier on the Pharrell Show. What up, Baroni?
Yo, what's shaking, Morency? What's shaking, brother?
It's all good, Baroni. Good to hear from you.
Yeah, great fucking show as usual. Dude, like I said on the Pharrell Show earlier, congratulations on your new fucking show, dude. I'll be listening to it.
I appreciate that, Baroni.
Is it gonna be as crazy as hardcore, or are we gonna tone it down a little bit for the afternoon drive?
You know what? Not gonna tone it down or try to make it crazy. We'll let it fall into place itself. That's what the coolest thing I'm looking forward to is that. And we got Greg Sansoni. I used to work with Greg Sansoni on the Score Television Network and get along with him pretty well, have a good chemistry with him on the air. And he's a very smart dude. So I'm just looking forward to seeing, what kind of dynamic grows on the show, Baroni. But I'm not softening things to the point where I'm not going to be myself, basically. I'll just be myself, and whatever happens, happens.
I wasn't saying you're going to soften it up. I was just saying because it's a different time, you got to do what the suits say. I was just wondering, but I guess it's going to be hardcore as usual, bruh.
Yeah, we'll bring it.
Yeah, dude, tomorrow, like I said last night, between you and Pharrell, you guys got me jonesing like a fucking heroin addict for this fucking playoffs, dude, these NHL playoffs. And we're going to start tomorrow, dude, at 7 your guys' time, 4 Pacific, with the Flyers and the Penguins. Oh, shake it up. It's going to be fucking off the fucking chains, dude. Everybody's going to be fucking checking and fucking pulling tubes watching the fucking playoffs, dude. It's going to be awesome, brother. It marks a sad day, dude. De La Hoya finally gives it up, dude. Finally gives it up, man.
Does he, though, or is he going to be back again?
I hope not, dude. All these great guys that have been great champions in the past, starting way before Jordan, have come back, and Jordan's just the most accomplished one that comes back. And I don't want to, his thing's tarnished, but it's not tarnished. I hope these guys just realize, don't come back. You guys let the other guys step in and take some fools out. What do you think? I guess Tibet, the 7'3" center from UConn, is going to the NBA draft. You think that guy
I think he's the second pick overall, in my opinion.
That's what I was thinking. It's going to be
debatable, maybe. And me and Orville were talking last week about that the Rubio kid from Spain, who the point guard. He played in the Olympics or the World Championships or whatever.
That kid is wicked fucking sick. Dude.
He's only 18 years old. He's already like a little. He plays with men already. I mean, the guy is a little pro.
That guy was fucking sick, dude. I stayed up and watched all those fucking Olympic games. The crazy ass hours they were out here. I stayed up and watched all those fucking games, dude.
He looks capable of playing in the NBA right now.
Fuck yeah, he does, dude. I think he'll be a great fucking NBA player, man. I was going to say it's debatable. Griffin could be the number one. It's hands down in my book, but it depends who gets the draft pick.
I think without a doubt, I think it's Griffin. I don't think anyone will be crazy, and I think it's Blake Griffin, unless we find out he's a crackhead or a meth head or something along the way. But I think it's Blake Griffin. I think the debate is after the fact, but Thabit's pretty smooth, man. He's got good feet, nice soft hands. He's obviously he can bulk up still. Hasn't been playing basketball for that much time, but he played soccer, so he's a hell of an athlete, and he can be molded. I think the guy could be turned into a hell of an NBA player.
And who played soccer that Hakeem Olajuwon?
Hakeem Olajuwon did from Nigeria. Yep.
And this guy is one of the best centers ever, dude. You know, you said a key word right there, molding, dude. He could be molded into a fucking hell of a basketball player, dude, because he's actually coordinated for being how tall he is, you know what I mean? He could get a little bit more skills, coordination skills, and fucking sky's the limit for those guys.
Good comparison to Hakeem, actually.
Sky's are the limit for guys like that, you know what I mean? Just size, and like you said, he could fill up even more. It's going to be crazy to see. Wow, you touched on it last night, dude. How the fucking great have fallen in Isaiah Thomas. Are you fucking shitting me? Florida International, dude? Dude, they sent me a fucking letter for a scholarship. I fucking burnt that thing, dude. I would never go to that fucking shithole fucking school, man. Isn't it like, I think it's not even like known for its sports. I think it's known for like fashion or some bullshit. This guy's fun. You said it great last night. Isaiah Thomas is gonna go door to door trying to recruit people down there, and they're gonna, people are gonna remember that shit. That shit's fresh, dude. And he was in New York, dude, the Mecca. So you hear about it in fucking Podunk, Arkansas, and Podunk, Louisiana. You're like, this guy's not as good as he was back in the day. He's kind of crazy now. You know what I mean? They had E60 tonight, behind the scenes WrestleMania. If you didn't see it, Morency, watch it on the 16th. You know what I mean? It's gonna be it's pretty crazy. I guess you're gonna see Vince McMahon like you've never seen him before, saying some pretty fucking crazy shit. Like he lived with his stepfather growing up and his mother in a double wide in like fucking North Carolina. Said he's middle class, very low middle class when he was growing up, and now everybody teases him because, and he still thinks he's middle class, but he doesn't know the fucking price of a carton of eggs or a fucking carton of milk. This guy, I guess you're going to see him like you've never seen him before. It's going to be interesting. I didn't get to see it because I was listening to you, listening to Pharrell, and then listening to you, and just going back and forth watching the Diamondbacks game. They could have fucking killed it in the fucking ninth inning, dude. The bases, people on the corner, bases on the corner, people on the corner, and fucking, it was 1 out, 2 outs. A fucking guy, fucking Snyder, slams it in the fucking, hits a fucking grounder right into third base. Fucking Steven Drew's on the fucking corner ready to come in. He could have fucking plowed over this motherfucker, and he weakly just slides in. Dude, you're just like your brother, a fucking pansy, dude. Come on, man. Just shake it up hardcore style, and I'll be listening to Morency on 42009 pulling bong rips. Just shake it, ooh.
Baroni in the desert. It actually is pretty cool, Orville. Show debuts on 420. You like that, huh, Nero? Said Nero actually be working that show. You'll be part of the show, Nero. But much like this show, you'll talk less on that show even than you do here.
That's true.
Good work, Nero. Nero's a man of few words. But, Nero, you seem to be excited. 420, you perked up, eh? What do you think about that?
It's a number of significance. Takes you back to the college days.
Now Orville thinks, we're both anti-Semites, right? That's Hitler's birthday?
You guys are fans of Hitler and school shootings, the Columbine attacks as well on 420.
That's right. And we're hey, 420, starting the show. I insist. It's in my contract. I don't know why we're going to end on this negative note, but it's actually the real facts are coming out about Columbine, Orville. There was no trench coat mafia. They weren't goth kids. There was like an urban legend, and actually the AP and the mainstream media went with this, about how they asked a girl, do you believe in God? And she said yes, and then they shot her. Never happened. Never happened. They were jocks. They were jockey type whatever, and for some reason, the mainstream, they love that shit. The black trench coat mafia and shit. It wasn't true at all. It was total. It's actually a study that was just out about 10 different horrific type of shootings. It's basically the same type of people that pull it off. But the whole shit about the whole goth shit and the whole trench coat and the beat down type stuff, they were both like middle class fucking kids. One of them was pissed off because he never got invited to the parties, basically. And another kid hated his life because a girl left him, fuck. And they decided to, but what we didn't know, these guys had all kinds of real crazy shit planned. They wanted to blow up. They had like these welfare fucking bombs in cars. It never went off. Like, did anybody hear about that? They actually were going to blow up the cafeteria, and they were going to shoot everybody coming out of the school. They had like a bigger plot than actually the mainstream media let on.
Well, it's interesting because they never showed any pictures of them in any sort of goth gear. And I can't for the life of me remember what the name of the company is that their dad worked for. The huge Army arms supplier company that is based out of Columbine, which is, I guess that city has a real culture around that company because it employs a lot of people there.
And the kid had access. Yeah, there was a whole motherfucking gun rack right at home. He just he went on the rack, and I don't know how we're on this, but it came up somehow.
I had a buddy in high school. I used to hang out with the goth kids, and one of them had the Marilyn Manson shirt and used to wear like a trench coat and wore KMFDM shirts and stuff like that. And his dad pulled him aside that night and said, "People are going to jump out of trucks and beat the shit out of you for wearing trench coats. You got to stop wearing trench coats." And their teacher the next day ripped on them for wearing KMFDM shirts, and was a whole to-do.
KMF, that's unfair. The band, anybody that wears a trench coat clearly is a potential homicidal maniac, without a doubt, Orville.
Or flasher.
Yeah, judge a book by a cover, of course. Who isn't freaked out at the trench coat? I don't know where this trench coat, the trench coat mafia. There was no trench coat mafia, fuck. There was two fucking angry kids that had access to a bunch of guns and decided to shoot people. Anyways, that's all depressing stuff. Shea Pare's not depressing. Nero's depressed. He's left behind, but somebody's got to work the board here, Nero. If anything, you're going to be getting off early. You get off early because, we do 2-hour shows on the road, Nero.
Yeah, it's not the same. I was at Trophies last time. I wouldn't mind going back.
Yeah, you know what you're missing, actually, yeah.
Yeah, it is a great environment, man. Fuck, I'd love to go back there again.
Cohen's ecstatic. You get out of here at 1 a.m., Cohen.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Unless
all the playoff game goes late. Yeah, which will probably happen.
Here's hoping.
Okay. Of course.
You have anything for us, King of Hockey, this evening before we get to the dickwads?
All right, I won't argue it anymore, Orville. You are the fucking
Orville's
king of hockey.
This is the NHL Report with the king of hockey around here,
Orville Bronstetter. Well, the NHL draft picture is coming to light. The Islanders, Tampa Bay, Colorado, the Thrashers, and the Kings in that order as the top 5, and should be a really interesting draft. As was mentioned earlier, and I have some inside sources on this, if the Leafs are unable to trade up for that number 1 pick for John Tavares, or possibly the number 2 pick, regardless of where he falls, they will be taking Braden Shen if he is available at number 7 to join his brother. They're close brothers, played together on a junior level, and they have great chemistry, and I know that Burke has selected the Sedin twins in the past, not afraid to take a chance on chemistry, and I think that it's really going to pay off for them if they do end up drafting Braden Shen out of Brandon, Manitoba.
That's some great insight there, Orville. Cohen, would you not agree the fact that he gave us the playoff matchups and the seedings?
That's right. Yeah, where would we be in the NHL without Orville Bronstetter? He just brings to light so many things that no one else can.
The update only had who was picking number 1.
No, actually, the update had the top 5, but that's okay.
Oh, why not the top 8?
Well, Orville, there's only time for so much. And the A's do walk off with a win with a bases-loaded single on the bottom of the 13th inning, bottom of the 12th
The updates really are predicated on you, aren't they, Cohen? It is true.
Yes, it is true.
Somehow the top 5 lottery, no one cares who the 4th fucking pick in the NHL draft is.
I gave the top 5.
You didn't talk about Harry Callis.
No.
It was the top story on like most major news, and not just sports, but news sites for the day.
That's good, and Gabe talked about it quite a bit. So if you're listening to the replay of the show, you heard all about it.
Yeah, but if you're a trucker who's from Philadelphia driving around, you hadn't heard anything about it, you probably wondering why he's not in the update.
Well, we had one
Greg
person.
in Philadelphia.
Yeah, we had one person from Philadelphia wondering. That's correct.
You guys should record. We should record Orville's questions to Cohen about Cohen's show. Like just a 30-minute special to tee it up, behind the scenes, give people an insight there.
This fucking guy will not be a part of my show.
I like how, before the show started, Sports Rage, Orville sees Cohen. He didn't talk about Harry Callis last night. What's up with that? And right into, what if Pete Rose gets hit by a bus? Will you talk about that? And Cohen's like, yeah, Orville. Basically, fuck off. Yeah, Orville, I'll talk about that. And then Orville, for how long? For in depth, 10 minutes? Cohen, 2 minutes. Fuck off. You're getting rattled, Cohen. So you're saying Orville's not invited to your pre-production meetings?
No, he's not. I want him to be nothing. I mean, it's just fucking constant fucking... He's like a little fucking pest. You just can't, like the cricket. You're trying to fucking stomp on it, and you just can't kill it.
I don't know if Mike told you about the show at 9:45 actually on Monday. It's going to be a tee-up for the Big E Sports Show where I ask you 15 minutes of interviews in depth as to what the show is going to be about.
Oh, I'm sure that's a big part of the show, Orville.
And there will be scenarios as to how much time you will designate to certain topics with mock scenarios in sports.
That will not be happening.
Your dickwads, Cohen.
This is the Big E Eric Cohen's Dickwad of the night.
Well, we'll call out former Bills running back Travis Henry, not for having 9 kids with 9 different women and paying no child support, but for now, Henry has signed a plea deal accepting a charge that carries a mandatory 10 years to life in prison, $4 million in fines, and 5 years of supervised release in exchange for having 2 counts of cocaine distribution dropped. This guy is a complete mess.
I don't want to be argumentative here, Cohen, but isn't he manning up by accepting a plea bargain? Isn't he accepting responsibility for his actions?
Yeah, but I mean, the fact that he's guilty of all this, he's a dickwad for having the fact that he's done all this.
I've got to disagree, Cohen.
All right. Well,
it's justifiable only
Absolutely.
because you're not looking at from a sense, Cohen, of somebody with 9 kids and no money.
Yeah.
What's he going to do besides deal cocaine?
Well, maybe he shouldn't have had...
It's a good question,
maybe
isn't it?
It is a good question. Maybe he shouldn't have had 9 kids with 9 different women. Ever fucking think of buying a few condoms and birth control fucking
He
pills?
shouldn't have spent all the fucking money he made in the NFL either.
Right.
Dickwad 1000.
Dickwad 1000 is now active. Tonight's Dickwad is Steve Perry from the band Journey. So I guess Don't Stop Believing is now the Dodgers song. You fucking corporate whore. Let's put aside the fact that this song is the gay anthem for fucking losers and that it ruined The Sopranos, but I guess you have nothing more than an ugly ass prostitute that will sell your ass to the highest bidder. Maybe you should actually try being a whore. Then you will know what hard work is when Big Jim wants to loop up a baseball bat and stick it up your ass while you parade around on all fours like a fucking dog. Dickwad 1000 transmission over.
Orville? Tough act to follow.
It's going to be very tough. I mean, Stern tells the story all the time about how big of a prick the lead singer of Journey was to him, but that's the story for another day. I'm going to have to give it to the people making the NFL schedule. I know they don't do it on napkins at the local strip club like the NHL does, but in this situation, they really dropped the ball, scheduling 2 back-to-back games on the Jewish high holidays in New York for the Jets, where there's a huge Jewish population. I expect lots of complaints to come in about that.
Yeah, they didn't consult the Torah before they made the NFL schedule, obviously.
Yeah, I'm confused about it. They should have called Bettman and Seelig and
should have called Cohen. Cohen's a religious Jewish expert.
Would let them know that it's unacceptable.
What is Passover about, anyways, Cohen?
What's Passover about? Well, it's a long story that you talk about the first 2 seders about, the Jews being slaves and not being able to see their bread being baked and all sorts of rituals that are done to portray what happened.
That was a horrible time in the Jewish history.
Yes.
I have no idea how you got that wrong. You spent 2 days off talking about it.
They couldn't see the bread being baked.
Well, all sorts. I don't want to get into the whole thing, but it's very complicated.
I was just wondering. No, but so now I know if somebody asks me, I can tell them. Well, I'll just give them your version.
Don't give my version. There's a much more in-depth version that I don't have time to talk about.
You gave 2 points and one of them was wrong.
No, and the fucking salt water for the tears, there's all sorts of fucking rituals. I'm not getting into all of them.
He refuses to answer these questions.
I don't know why I even gave a little bit of an answer.
I was asking you a legitimate question about your faith.
And I gave you a legitimate answer. It just wasn't a great answer.
You aware that Ivan the Terrible was apprehended today, Cohen?
No. For what?
For what? For being Ivan the Terrible. That's
okay.
For what? You know what? He had a scam going, actually. He was selling Girl Scout cookies. He had like a bunch of girls that weren't really Girl Scout cookies, and he was evading the IRS. So they brought him in. There it is. Hit the other music, Nero. For what? For being Ivan the Terrible. That's my dickwad. You.
I don't give a fuck.
My dickwad, the world.
So listening, pig fuckers.
You fat, over fucking paid pig. Morency's dickwad! Well, this is kind of a bizarre one. Orville just mentioned Howard Stern telling a story about how Steve Perry was a jerk-off. I'll throw Mike Golick under the bus from the Mike and Mike, if you want to call the show on ESPN. Mike Golick, evidently, I don't know, David Letterman. Is Letterman's show that bad now that he's having Mike Golick on his show? Anyways, Mike Golick's at the Dave Letterman show and is asked outside about the Nutrisystem rabbit food that he's hawking on TV, and he admits that it's horrible. He goes, yeah, it's actually pretty bad, and the portions are small. No, fuck, it's Nutrisystem. What'd you think? It was extra large portion, Golick? You are a dickwad, and I say this because I met you, and you are. You're a dickwad. Purple Eleven, not a dickwad. Good guy. Nero, hit the other music. Just for future references, Nero, I thought you were in the music industry before, too, eh? Like, the old cue. Giving Nero cues. I'm pointing at him. He's just staring at me. I'm like, Nero, hit the music. You're like, wow, I didn't know you were cueing me.
Well, I mean, from like at least the last year, you've never thrown like that at that point of the show. That was usually
I was just trying to be slick and easy for you, you know? So why did you think I was pointing at you? Just for what?
Well, you were making a very solid point, and I thought you were referring to Orville. So I wanted to go with what was tested from before.
Good work, Nero. See everybody tomorrow night. See everybody in Montreal on Thursday night. Other than that, you're on your own. Hardcore Country closed later.
You've been listening to Sports Rage with Morency, live from 11 to 2 a.m. Eastern, and sometimes a little longer. And we'll replay the shit out of this carnage as well. Sports Rage, only on Hardcore Sports Radio.